Welcome back to the show. Arsenal have just come away with a frustrating draw against Man City, and as always, an Arsenal result always sparks debate, and it's been raging these last 24 hours. Was it a point to be proud of? Was it another chance missed to make a real statement in the title race? To get into it all, I'm joined by Brenny and Nick, and I can't wait to get their takes on what it means for Arsenal going forward. But of course, before all of that, let's get into the intro. Let's go. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Arsenal Above All, episode 107. We've got two legends with me. That's what I can say. There are two legends with me.
Too modest.
Nick, he's come back. He's come back for his second cap. We're still negotiating the contract terms and everything. His agent's pretty hard to deal with, to be honest. But he wants to come back. He put on such a brilliant performance in his debut show. And how you doing, Nick? Great to have you back.
Very well, thank you. Grateful for the invite. No contracts needed. Mike, you asked me and I'm going to be here, buddy. That's all good. Like to support my fellow Gooners. So
nice one. Appreciate you coming back, man. I really appreciate it. And looking forward to what you've got to say in a bit. And we've got also Brenny K74. What more can be said? He's been called many things: the Arsenal Library, the Arsenal Encyclopedia, lots of other good things as well. Brenny, how you doing? It's an honour to have you on the show, man, for your first cap. How you doing?
Thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate you having me on. Hope you all are good. Hope everyone's good in the chat. And thanks for having me on. You have to come on mine someday as well. Come on with myself and Nick. And but what we'll do at some point, it'll be happy chat. Meaning, Nick and I had fun a few weeks ago with the 11, and I thought maybe we can take on an Arteta 11 as well. So I'll get that set up at some point within the next week or two, or maybe with the next international break we can sort something out. But thanks for having me on. Anyhow, appreciate it.
No, 100%. Look forward to doing that. That's gonna be fun. Something slightly different to what we normally do here. But no, I really appreciate you coming on and yourself again, Nick. Appreciate your time.
Always.
On this Monday evening. So let's get into it. Arsenal drawing 1-1 with Man City. Frustrating kind of performance. Lots of ups and downs. Lots of stats that have normally come out. You know, City apparently recorded the lowest possession stats under Pep. You know, which was kind of wild in the time that he's been there. A lot of people saying that Pep was kind of, you know, showed us a little bit of respect in terms of what we did to them last season. You can look at it that way. You can also look at it that he was kind of happy. He was kind of happy that all we were going to do was going to go down the wings and put crosses in, which is why he sort of loaded up the team in the second half with basically just defenders, you know, 6-foot defenders. We'll start off with the usual, which is the usual hand grenade that goes off, you know, in the Arsenal fan base and the Arsenal multiverse when a lineup is released. And you know, I was deflated when the Liverpool one came out. You know, I thought, you know, Eze was going to start, you know, and he was going to have an amazing game at Anfield. Then it didn't turn out that way. Started out with Mourinho obviously starting and Martinelli on the left. So I weren't deflated when the lineup came out. When the lineup came out yesterday, because I kind of prepared myself. I knew that, you know, he was probably going to go with Mourinho against City. But we'll talk about the lineup. I'll come to you, Bren, first. Is Arteta's cautious nature? Is it becoming a problem? Because with so much at stake now, what he's put us, you know, the platform that he's put us on. Is he now, do you think, more scared of not losing the game than actually going out and winning it? Do you think that's a fair question? What's your thoughts just on the lineup and just how he approached that another big game, you know, with that midfield again?
100%. It was, you know, he's, I mean, he's just very, very like defensive. He was very defensive minded yesterday with that lineup. I didn't understand why. I would have understood it if we was playing the Man City of 5-6 years ago when they looked absolutely unplayable, and I would get that. But I think yesterday we went into the game for the first time in a while and we were favourites. We was actually favourites to win the game. And with the squad that we've got now, there was, you know, I woke up thinking, you know what, we've got the 11 to beat City. That was Sunday morning. We've got the 11 to beat City, and I had a feeling Mikel Merino would be involved. Now, I'm not knocking Mikel Merino's form for Spain. I mean, when he's playing, I mean, he plays in a world-class team, but I find that I still think for Arsenal, if you're going to play him somewhere, you have to play him in a 9, in my opinion. But obviously, we've got Gyökeres there. I was not happy. I actually thought we'd draw the game. Seeing that lineup, I thought we're going to draw this game. Whereas I said to Bobby before, if we'd have gone with a lineup that we wanted to see, then I said we would have won the game 3-1. But what Arteta's got us, he's got to stop this handbrake stuff and playing it safe, like he's playing it safe like he's Steve Davis, you know, in a snooker, because he always used to play it safe against, you know, and not, he should be wild like Jimmy White, you know what I'm saying? And that's what he needs to do, or even Alex Higgins. So he needs to, you know, take that handbrake off, cut these chains. I mean, stop watching Roots and Amistad and actually get it on and really, you know, and also, you know, just let these guys play, because he's now got a squad that can do that. And as much as I'm not his biggest fan, I'm not going to rant and rave about him today. You all know how I feel about the manager, but we want to see him do well. We want to see him succeed, and he's not showing me that right now. But we've said this already, haven't we? Where he needs to go back to 22-23 season with the defense he's got now. Oh my goodness me! If he goes back to attacking way we win this league, and we have to have that. Well, he has to have that energy now, to catch Liverpool. So yeah, I wasn't happy with the lineup, and favoritism as well has to go out the window. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter how you get on with someone. Business is business.
Yeah.
And you've got to go out and play against the best teams. You've got to play your strongest 11, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So yeah,
totally agree with that.
That's just my take on that.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Nick, do you think because of what's at stake, going back to some people say, when he took over, he was, there was lots of problems in the squad, lots and lots of problems. We know who those problems were. He got all those guys out. He's brought us back to the kind of top of the table, competing in the big competitions again. Is he slowly turning into a problem himself? After all of that, now that with the squad and everything, and what everyone's been, the narrative that we must win something, is that playing on his mind a little bit? Because people are saying, "Oh, it's only 5 games," but we kind of saw this the last 5 months of the season, bar the Champions League games, in the league especially. But what's your thoughts just on the lineup and just the message it kind of sent to everyone, attached to the club?
I think that's a succinct point you make there about the message it sends. So overall sense of frustration, because, and just to put a caveat into this, how lucky we are that we've gone from the God's work that Arteta has done, from where we were fearing ties like this because we were being battered, to the point that we're disappointed about Anfield and now disappointed at home to City. And I feel like that lineup sent the message. I saw the lineup and I was like, that's too pragmatic. That is just kind of, we don't need to contain. We need to get at them. They just played on Thursday. And so I think Arteta fears losing too much at the moment. Whatever pressure has been placed on him, everything that you're saying about that echo chamber that must be around him, I think must play on him. I just looking at, even if you wanted to go CDM for CDM, I would have picked Miles over Marino, because Miles carries the ball forward.
Yeah.
I felt like, I don't want to dig out any player, but I felt like just putting that one name in that lineup, I didn't see how that was going to get the best out of Gyökeres, that was going to get the best out of release Madueke, or how that was going to improve us going forward. That maybe makes us a little bit more solid in defence, and that's not how we need to be setting up in these games. He's a bit like Tyson Fury in that first fight with Wilder, as I've said before. He's gone the first 11 rounds worrying about that right hand getting knocked out, and it wasn't until he was knocked on his arse and he realised, oh, 1 minute, I'm going to go on attack here. I've got nothing to lose. And he realised, hey, I can win this. It's almost like Arteta. That first half to second half was that fight. And all of a sudden, it was just kind of, but what does it say to the players? When you see that lineup, does that make them think, oh, can we win this? Are we trying to win it? I think it all seeps through, and he's got to be careful. When he joined, Arteta was limited by the squad. At this point, is the squad becoming limited by Arteta? He's done God's work. He's in danger of becoming the Spanish Southgate, as I've said before. And I think we just now need him to really incorporate this solid defensive foundation that he's created, coupled with how we know he can get a team to an attack. He brings that together, we win the title. Yeah,
100%. I mean, I've seen a lot of questions floating around after the game, and one of the questions was, would he have started Marino ahead of Odegaard? If the answer is no, then you can understand that Arteta is a coward for not starting Eze in midfield. Is that a fair question, do you think, Bren?
Yeah, it is a fair question. And the answer to that is that even though I think he was reluctant to play Eze in the middle, in the number 10 yesterday, because he knew that a Marino in the 10 just wasn't working. It wasn't working at all for that first half. So it was no surprise that he went off in the first half. It's like the manager feels that he still needs to prove something with the Marino signing, and I feel Arteta has nothing to prove with the Marino signing because he came in last season. When we had the injuries, scored a few goals. He was doing something, and for me, he's a squad player at Arsenal, and I just feel that Odegaard, if he was fit, would have started, no doubt. No doubt he would have started. He relies on his captain. Even if Odegaard could give you a 4 out of 10, 5 out of 10, and he would still be in that 11 for the manager. And that is favoritism right there. I mean, thank God they're not father and son, because then we'd be talking about nepotism. But there you go. But but seriously, it's all day long he would have started Odegaard if Odegaard was fit yesterday, 100%.
That kind of thanks for that answer to the question. Let's just jump into the chat. Obviously, Chris Welsh there. Hi, Chris. He's obviously he pops up on Bobby's channel as well. He's got his own channel.
Big up, Chris.
Big up, Chris. Obviously, got Neil here as well. He says never gets tired of the intro. Yep, new one is coming.
It's a great intro. I love it.
He says banging like Martinelli out of the blue. We'll be banging goals on our way to the double. Yeah, hopefully. Thanks, Chris. Just sub to you, Michael. Another Arsenal channel. Yeah, I think he's probably subscribed to more Arsenal channels than the Liverpool ones. I think, Chris. At this rate. But no, I appreciate that, Chris. He's made a comment here. I'll tell you, having the players, it's like Arteta being left one McLaren car, but having the handbrake on. Pretty much. Yeah. Neil, Eyebrows has got nowhere to hide. That's his obviously nickname for Arteta. Yeah, it's squad good enough and versatile enough to go on the front foot, high line with intensity to hurt teams. We should fear no one. Yeah. Steve, another regular of the show. Mike, you called before the day before and then told me the success rate or lack of success. Yes, one game in 10 Premier League. One win in 10 Premier League games when Rice and Mourinho have started the game. I mean, I know you have to look at data and everything, but I don't know what else you need to look at to know that doesn't kind of work. I think someone mentioned Rice and Mourinho is like two magnets that are sort of opposite. They just don't work. Just don't do it. Neil says, "Yeah, love the snooker name drops. Proper personalities back in the day." What a legend. Chris has said if Southgate gets NBA for winning nothing, then Arteta will get one too from Top Gooners.
Yeah, exactly.
Who knows another Fellini and Arteta played Fellini at Everton. Yeah. He's worked with Arsene, he's worked with Pep, and he's got a sprinkling of more so of Moyes at the moment. The way he's got us playing, which is And it's from Nick. Yeah, Gunners named Women's Club of the Year. Fantastic. Yeah, excellent. That's Champions League because we won the Champions League. It's brilliant stuff. Let's hope Leslie she can maybe win the women's Ballon d'Or.
Yeah,
that'd be amazing for her to get that
definitely.
As well. Any worries, gents, on the way the goal was scored? As I think you mentioned before, Nick, playing three centre midfielders, and after 9 minutes, playing that three centre midfielders just gets blown up, and we get countered on, and the defending from both Saliba and Gabriel. I mean, I don't know what Gabriel. I think Gabriel
wasn't even in frame.
Gabriel seemed to me looked like he wanted to have another fight with Haaland. He wanted to get in on him, stick one on him again when he should have. He should have stepped off. Yeah. And again, he just let his emotions get in. And I think Saliba, looking at the hindsight, maybe he wasn't ready for that to come into that sort of situation.
I don't think he was. I don't think he was. Sorry. Yeah, go.
You kind of think Mosquera, with his recovery pace and how he's playing, you would love to see him in that situation because if you look back at it again, I think you're saying to Saliba, go to Reinders, just
close him down.
He made the wrong error. Yeah. Any worries about Gabriel? Because he just didn't look like he had anything in the tank. He just no recovery pace at all there.
No, but then I remember saying at the beginning of the season that your big injuries from last year have a high risk of reoccurrence.
Yeah.
And so we've got to be careful. If he's, because I noticed that how he was recovering, he didn't put the afterburners on to get back, but the entire that entire side of the defense was missing. Rather ridiculously, it was down to the ball bobbled and broke, and it was down to Saliba and Timber. Now, Timber was arguably our best player on the pitch yesterday. The man was phenomenal, absolute for me, in my opinion.
He was.
That first half, there was him and Madueke were the shining lights down the right hand side, and what I would have preferred Saliba to do was make Rangers make a choice quicker. You're conceding ground, because he had Timber taking the speed off to stay in check a little bit, because he if you watch that back, he's just caught up with him and he kills his pace, so he doesn't play anybody on behind Saliba. And it was just like, make a choice, go get in there, make him play, because I think Timber then would have been able to use his pace and swoop around behind and edge off Haaland more. But then again, it comes back to bravery. It's a brave choice to leave out arguably what people call our best defender for the new kid on the block. That's a big call. And is he going to do that under this sort of pressure? And that's an issue, isn't it? And I think that's kind of it was we've overloaded in midfield, and we do get caught like this sometimes. It's a bobble, it breaks, something happens, it's a missed pass, an intercept, goalkeeper off his line. We saw it on the back end of last season a few times that we got caught out. Saliba giving away a professional foul and getting sent off where he was exposed. It happens time and again, and it's got to be that I noticed just in front of them, we've got Marino, Declan and Zubamendi, and particularly with Declan and Zubamendi, the communication isn't quite there.
No.
I think the language barrier is there, and I wonder if that's why Marino's on the pitch, to tell you the truth. To help Zubamendi with communication and movement and expectation. There's a little bit of me, I'm wondering if that's a part of it. But it was very frustrating for a defence like ours to concede a goal like that. It wasn't lost on me that Haaland targeted Saliba in the first half. Well, for the majority of the game, he put himself up against Saliba. If you think back to all of there was a few times he was up against Gabby, but the majority of it, he was constantly up against Saliba. So, I feel like that was another lineup decision with Arteta, personally.
What you saying, Brendan? I mean, I agree. I thought the lineup again, going back to the lineup, but I think again, hindsight is a wonderful thing. I just think Mosquera's, just his recovery pace, the fact that he's on form, and I just think obviously Saliba was going to go back into the team. That's obviously a given, but I just think putting him in at that game, at that intensity. There's a stat that the two teams combined, the distance covered was 4 kilometers more than the highest in the league this year in second place, and 13 kilometers more than the two teams in third place. So yesterday the teams literally ran their asses off. It was ridiculous, like in terms of intensity and the amount of effort they put in. So again, you're putting Saliba into that kind of situation when he's just come. He's obviously has had a dodgy ankle. He's come back in that sort of situation. And you're kind of saying if that happens in the 60th minute, is he more used to the game, Bren? Rather than the first 9 minutes where he's got to make that kind of decision, where he's kind of cold, let's say. Whereas if it's later on in the game, maybe he does press Reinders. Maybe he is a bit more switched on. I was kind of worried, with the performances of a few people. I think Rice has not been at it at all this season. He just seems to be just running around, running marathons. And apart from his set pieces, he just doesn't seem to be functioning pretty well. And obviously we'll talk about Yorkers in a bit, but. Well, let's get on that. Let's get on that now. Obviously, he got a lot of stick, didn't he, from Henry for the performance in Bilbao when he had that chance.
Yeah.
What was it?
Yeah.
What was it? He said obviously the not getting the touch right when he went through on goal.
Yeah.
And I'm petty, you know. I'm quite petty, and I'm kind of thinking, Thierry, only if your first touch was a bit better in 2006 when you went through, we might have had a star above our badge. Anyway, that's just me. That's just me. Anyway, but what's your take on Gyökeres and just the way? I mean, he had no shots on goal yesterday. I don't think we created a chance for him. There's a couple of balls that went across and it kind of deflected, went behind. Are you worried? Are you worried for him? Are you worried? You think it's just a matter of time? Okay, yeah, he scored 3 goals already, but I just think he looked a bit clunky yesterday as well. You're comparing him to Haaland, but what's your thoughts on just his performance yesterday and just how we don't seem to be getting the best out of him yet still, or does he need to do more?
No, I don't think he needs to do more, and the reason why is because there were times where we've seen it already this season, not just yesterday, but where he's come in deep to get the ball, and I feel Gyökeres, I've got no worries about him. I think he will come good. I still think, regardless of what happens this season, I think he'll get 20 plus goals for us this season. What concerns me the most is, and it's not just him, because have you noticed that I don't like talking about other clubs, but players, number 9s, there's a lot of number 9s around the world now, because we live in a systematic world now where a lot of teams around Europe, even around the world, we're playing with systems, and the system seems to suit everybody apart from the number 9.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It does. You know what I mean? With certain clubs, it does. So you have to. So basically, if you're going to do that, you're just going to have to. You're just going to have to. We're going to have to tweak something to get Gyökeres involved. I'll tell you what. For example, the goal against Forest, that was perfect in terms of that lovely ball, like 35, 40-yard ball from Galafiori, to Eze, squared it to Gyökeres. Perfect. We need to also this is where Eze comes in, because I think with Eze, if you've got Eze and Gyökeres, just think of the through balls that Eze will play, that will try and put in for Gyökeres. You know what I mean? Because I think for us, we're too. When it comes to wing play, it's always a case of, Saka could cut in and then bend that ball into the net, or it doesn't. How can I say this? It just, we've got, it's not difficult for manager, I should say, our manager, because that's all I'm concerned about, to find a way to get Gyökeres involved. They're talking about his touch, but there's times where I've seen his touch is a bit off, and there's times where I've seen his touch has been immaculate. So, I know we know he's played in English football before, never played in Premier League football, but look, he's only just arrived. It'd be hypocritical for us for anyone really to have a dig at Gyökeres when we could be having a dig at other strikers who've not hit the heights yet, like Sesko, and I say Sesko because we almost got Sesko. So and I look at someone like Sesko, and he'll start scoring goals. It'll come good, just as I think Gyökeres will. So I think we got to calm down on the Gyökeres thing, because he will score goals. And if we're allowed to play on Sunday, don't be surprised if he gets a brace against Newcastle. So I think everyone's just got to calm down with the Gyökeres thing.
Yeah, totally agree. It just seems like it's an easy stick to you, to beat with. I can't remember what the term is.
Well, he's at Arsenal, isn't he? So Arsenal, I mean, players always get stick. I mean, players have been getting stick at Arsenal since I was 3 weeks old. So there you go. You know what I mean, it's just how it is.
Yeah, true. What's your thoughts on it, Nick? You
I think we're not helping him. So Eze is the perfect player to unlock Gyökeres. Why?
Yeah.
Because he played with Mateta, the number 9, doing that work, right? Now, I noticed towards the end of the game, Saka was playing left wing and Martinelli was drifting out onto the right wing, because then they were back to their natural, not inverted wingers, but natural wingers. And what does that facilitate? That facilitates the player going down either wing and being able to use their strongest foot to put the ball in the box. There is something that we need to do as a team to get the most out of that asset. Now, if I agree with Brenny, Gyökeres could end up on 20 goals. Let's face it, all of the stuff that's been said about him, that's 3 goals in 5 games. But, if he turns out to be a flat track bully, guess what? That's exactly what we needed. Because what teams do we struggle with traditionally over the last 3 years? It's the Fulham here, it's the Everton there, it's this, that.
Your Brightons, your Bournemouths.
Right, there we go, right?
Newcastles.
Absolutely. And if that means it's that team that he punishes, then we've got the right man for the right job. Now we've got to feed him. And that's it. I mean, I want to see Gyökeres on the pitch playing a bit like how Giroud would play and Ramsey did, playing off him sometimes. How we play the ball into him. The man's blooming starving. He's eating on scraps. Madueke is Madueke's been very, very unfortunate. Like, he's hit posts, he's come close. I feel like he should have about 3 or 4 assists by now if people finish their dinner. He's really put the ball on the plate. Like, Timber could have scored in the was it the Leeds game? My mind is a bit.
Yeah.
There was one where he cut the ball back and it was just had he got his, and that's happened a few times. And Gyökeres just needs to know your job today. Don't worry about everything else. We want you in that central channel, because there's a couple of times he's playing off the back post. And in that first half in particular, we had nobody in the right-hand channel to help Madueke. He was isolated on the wing. And we had 2 players. We had the left wing in Trossard and Gyökeres almost at the back post most of the time. And nobody in that sort of 8 position attacking the box to give him another option. Yeah. It's a systematic issue that we've got here. And at the moment, Gyökeres is the player that is suffering the most. It's not the player, it's the system.
Can I just add, guys, as well as that, is even though I've only seen Gyökeres live once this season, and we've seen it as well on the screen, where if you watch him off the ball, he does make the runs, but he doesn't receive the ball. And the ball is probably played out wide when he's making a really good run, getting away from his last man, trying his best to stay onside. You know what I mean? So he does make the runs. They've just got to feed him those balls.
I agree, Brenny. And how many times it was like in that final part of in the second half, I was screaming at the TV. I was saying to my boy, and I left a voice note on our group chat. I was like, what they need to do is put the ball over the top. Yeah. And sometimes our forwards just need to drop off their man a little bit. Yeah. And those midfielders need to hit just something different, just to keep that defense on the toes. Because if you're threatening to do that, then that is going to free up wingers as well. Yeah. And we've got to be better at trying to play through the lines and over the top and give him something to fight for. Anything in that middle third of the pitch, we've got to, every so often, just stick it through. This obsession of keeping control of the ball is handbrake football. Sometimes you've got to take a risk. You've got to allow Eze to play that sort of ball to get a result. Gyökeres will come up with the goods.
Yeah, I mean, you've touching on that. This is the goal, the equalising goal. Obviously, Eze with the pass, you can see Gyökeres is offside, but he's only offside because he made that run down the channel.
Yes,
and Saka had the ball and he played it side. You know, he went safe. He recycled it. Gyökeres kind of, you could kind of see his body language. It's like, again, they've just not found me again, and then he kind of just drifts, offside to where he is there. So you're right, both the goal, of the 3 goals that he scored, 2 of them were basically 2 quick balls down the channel. One was to release him, the other one was to release obviously Eze, and obviously he crossed it in. And so we have to kind of play to his strengths. We've just got to play the ball a little bit quicker around the corner a bit when we get the opportunity to. And
that picture shows as well. Saka's on the left and Martinelli's on the right.
Yeah.
I picked up on that because there are, Madueke. You think Madueke on the right and Saka doing his thing because Saka's got such a strong weak foot. That he can still do that cut in and shoot.
Yeah,
and I think there's something in that. Saka on the left could be absolutely devastating.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's just jump into more comments from we've got. Steve was saying, I don't think Gabriel was thinking Haaland was going to get the ball, so he didn't bust a gut to get back. Haaland only had one thought in his mind, which was why he's top striker. Yeah. AFC always thanks for
AFC.
the chat. This manager chooses to leave all our creative players on the bench against Liverpool and Man City in favour of controlling the game. This is not title winning mentality. Mentality is spineless. Yeah. It's just the feeling, like you said, the message it's kind of sent not just to the players, it's to the fan base, it's to the stadium. You just heard them murmurs during the game, and there was a moment when I think Mourinho had the ball in the first half and he lost it.
Groaning,
and you could just sense the whole crowd just getting on his back, saying, "See, what is he doing? What is he doing in the team?" Steve saying, Gyökeres needs service. Liverpool fans saying our team has been together 5-6 years, but we signed 8 players in summer, and most of the squad has been together from the COVID League title win. Some of them have. Arteta wants Gyökeres to fail so bad. We have a striker. Somebody starts 3 fridges.
He's not. Yeah, he's not. I mean, he's not a favourite, is he? Gyökeres. For me, Gyökeres and Eze are not favourites to the manager, and he didn't want them, in my opinion.
No, he wants Odegaard and Havertz.
To win.
Yeah.
Fair play. Arteta needs to know and understand how to utilise players to their strengths and switch up the style of play. Also learn more about the game management and man management of players. Yeah, he came out and said that no one complained about the playing the 3 in midfield against Bilbao, and because we won. But we they went on the pitch when we scored. It was your substitutes that won you that game. I'm the same. I still think we have to adapt still, but there are blatant times where you can see we could feed Gyökeres and we don't do it, and you kind of think, what's that about? Don't they trust it? Do they trust him? He's not easy on the eye, but you kind of think, he's not a terrible. You don't score 100 goals in the league and then just you're not good enough, are you?
Exactly.
And yes, Steve, great shout out, about the switching wingers. We've kind of heard, haven't we, that Saka might want, is angling to play on the other side. Let's see what happens if that happens. I'd be very surprised, because it's like Arteta's comfort blanket, isn't it? That right hand side with him and Odegaard on that side. He has where we've dropped, but that doesn't mean you don't want him to get service in a game like yesterday. You still want to create chances for the guy. That's the fundamental thing for me. He's not. We're not creating. We're not creating chances for him. And yes, we have to adjust, and he needs to adjust a little bit as well. But the fact that we just don't, he didn't get a shot on goal, or shot in anger, really is not going to give him 3 or 4 chances a game, and then we'll have a proper discussion whether he's actually good or not. You can't do that. No.
Guys, just quickly, what I was thinking was that, well, I know a few fans probably be thinking this, but with the fact that Arteta's played under Wenger and the fact that the one thing that has really impressed me about this manager over the years is how they fixed, and the coaches, how they fixed the defense right up. And we've got a quality keeper. Why not just revert back to type and play the football that we played under Arsene Wenger? Arteta knows it, and that would bring in, and that would bring in, say, that would bring more goals to like Gyökeres or anyone playing in at number 9. Revert back to type and play that fast, intricate football that we played, while we're still keeping it tight at the back.
Yeah,
and the opposition wouldn't even think about it.
Yeah, I don't know why he doesn't play even 2002, 22, 23.
Yeah, even that.
When we put nearly 100 goals on the board, he knows how to do it. And
exactly.
This defensive foundation we've got now, he's got an embarrassment of riches at the back and in central midfield.
I just don't get what's changed, Nick. I just don't get what's changed. Seriously, guys, I don't know what has changed from that. Where, if it ain't broke, I just don't understand that.
Do you think it's pressure?
I was about to say that. I think the expectation is so much. I think we saw it with Southgate. Once he got to the final, and it was like, okay, now they expect me to, with the squad players I've got, they're talking about the golden generation 2.0, whatever, and you saw what he did to him in the Euros, how he approached. He set up not to lose. He was scared of losing rather than going out to win, because of the expectation, and it was basically down to his reputation. It was almost like he was protecting his rep for what he does next, or what he's going to do next, sort of thing. And I kind of think that's a little bit with Arteta. He's kind of, I've got all the credit in the bank for where this club was when I came in, and we were getting embarrassed, and everything like that. And struggled at the beginning, but then he went back to, he's taken us to obviously 22, 23, and obviously from there. But now, because it's like the expectation, finishing 3 seconds in a row, and on top of that, you've had this amazing window. Like, the expectations are through the roof, and I just think he's like, well, if I kind of go out of my comfort zone and maybe go back to that little bit of chaos, he's not going to like that. He's like he doesn't trust the squad. He didn't trust the squad last season. He's got no reason for that now, and now it's almost like he doesn't trust himself. He's like, we've got the best. Like I've banged on about this. We hear all the top gooners, all the content creators. We know who they are. They come out with all this stuff about Arsenal, the best defense in Europe, the best team out of possession, blah blah blah, this and that, all the numbers and everything like that. And fine, but he's built that fantastic. But it's time to trust that. And release the handbrake a little bit, because now it's like, oh no, we can't go, we can't go out and attack City, we can't go out and attack Liverpool, because it will be a basketball game. Well, which is it? Have we got the best defense in Europe? Have you got the best team out of possession? Aren't they going to be able to deal with that? If we do, release the handbrake a little bit. So it's like people are saying things just to kind of protect the manager still, and trying to, I could see what he was trying to do. But blah 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 blah. Well, what was he trying to do? You can see what he's trying to do. He's just being too cautious. He's trying to be too conservative. He's not trusting the squad still, and he's not trusting himself. And
he isn't.
It's only in one way, really.
Yeah, he's still rushing players back, isn't he?
Yeah,
I think he's scared of them gassing.
Yeah,
that season where we just ran out. I think if they're attacking and they're losing the ball and they're having to press multiple times a game, it drains them. And that's what he's worried. I think that's what he's worried about. He's worried about them gassing and not having enough in the final third of the season. But we've got more bodies now. Our squad, where we could rely on maybe 14, 15 players, we've got 20 odd players that you can rely on now.
Yeah.
That rotation and keep them fresh, so we can take a little bit more risk. But I think we are just far. A lot of people say this kind of, we're too slow in progressing the ball. And transition, and we need to get that ball quicker to the forwards or beyond the defense, so that our wingers are turning their defender, and we don't do it enough. It's too slow. By the time we get into midfield, Declan Rice and Marino can be very slow at progressing the ball, so a lot of it is sideways and backwards, and by that point you've got your forwards standing next to defenders waiting for a miracle ball. We've got to be quicker. We've got to be a 100%. Bit more dynamic.
AFC always has dropped a bomber, his own bomber in the chat. saying that Madueke is out for 6 weeks with a knee injury. That's probably following the scan I think they had earlier today. Bloody hell. I guess it could have been worse. It could have been months. But it sums things up for us at the moment, isn't it? It's like one in, one out. You know, we get Saka back. We get Saka back, and then another one goes out, and we seem to get an injury every game, and we seem to pick up an injury in training every week.
I question the methods.
It's true.
I do. I question the methods. Are we doing the right stuff?
Yeah.
Are the players respecting the exercises to keep their bodies healthy?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Mac is a bench is a crime against football. If Glasner was our manager, we would have won trophies year on year. Arteta is, as you say, too scared to lose and concerned about the other team. I thought that. As he always, do you think Arteta will start Max Damon against Port Vale on Wednesday night? Don't forget it's a school night.
Yeah, I think he will. Might
need a note from his mum.
Yeah. Just as long as he's not late for the game because of detention.
Yeah, let's hope so. Let's hope not. It is. I think you have to look at it, gents, as the fact that he's changed the pressure and the expectation now, and we've kind of seen it. You know, it's almost identical in terms of the way Southgate approached team games in that Euros, and it was like literally he just wanted to please everybody at the same time, but it just wasn't right, you know. And Gyökeres winning the striker Ballon d'Or as well. Well done for that. Hopefully that gives him a little bit of confidence as well.
Yeah.
Bonatti wins Women's Ballon d'Or. Well done there. And thanks for the chat, Charles. These frequent injuries are directly proportional to our best possession status. These are the sort of short-term, but definitely a price we are paying because of the control approach ever since 2024. It's mad, really. The injuries and just the thing is, Arteta is starting to get a bit of bite back in the presses. I don't know if you've noticed that. People talking about the lineup and the way he's approaching games. So people aren't, just lapping everything up on what he says. He's tried to gaslight us. I remember when we drew 2-2 with Fulham. I don't know if you remember, and he was talking about we played 43 formations that game. Set up so many different ways, and people would, and he does that a lot. When he gets a bad result, he just says some really stupid stuff, and
it doesn't take accountability.
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, and he was coming out with nonsense. In that, I always remember that when he was talking about the formation stuff, and he does that a lot. And it can only go so far. If he continues, he's got a sporting director who's not gonna take any prisoners with the investment that we've made. And you kind of wonder, with all the injuries we suffer, should we have a change approach like London sign everyone? Let's talk about Chelsea. They've got their own problems. Let's talk about this gentleman here. He's had a lot of stick, hasn't he, Nick, over the last couple of months? Some of it harsh, some of it over the top, but some of it justified as well. I just think he's not developed the way that we would have liked to have seen. Is that down to the system? Is that down to the coaching or being overcoached? We've seen what it's like him playing on the left-hand side when he's getting it in the air from Arteta. Eze got it last week, didn't he? Which has been viral going around. The good thing for me is he's come on, he's scored a couple of goals, and it's a win-win for me because obviously if he carries on like that, he may have turned the corner and could be an asset to the team still. But secondly, it ups his value, doesn't he? If he's scoring goals and stuff, it ups his value. If the decision comes in January or whatever, that we maybe need to part company with him. But what was your thoughts on just his week and then just that finish yesterday?
For me, I'm immensely pleased for Gabby because he is such a nice bloke. Very pleased for him. I think I'm going to make a distinction here for two players, and that is Trossard and Martinelli. Neither of them are the player that I want when they start. And I think that is because when they start, call it system Trossard, system Martinelli at the beginning of the game, when they're sent on, a finisher Trossard and finisher Martinelli, they are free of the system because they are being sent on with nothing else to make an impact.
Yeah.
It liberates them. So they don't have to do all of this BS going around in their head. They can just play the game. They can go at goal. They can be a bit more direct. They haven't got to do this. They haven't got to do that. They're free from all of that when they're a substitute. And I don't think that it is any shock that Trossard has the most goals coming from the bench. Why is that? Is it because they're coming up against tied defenses or anything like that? No, they're free to make an impact. And they go about the game slightly differently when they're coming off the bench. They're almost back to their old selves. And I was desperate for a left winger because what I saw from Martinelli last season, I didn't feel was enough to take us to a title. We need a three-pronged attack that is dangerous in every department. And seeing him come off the bench and do this, it's going to be great for his value. It's going to be great for his confidence. Picking up assists, picking up goals, fantastic. May it continue. I think if we see him start, we may see the same thing again. Thinking too much about what is he being coached, what is he being asking, does the system demand? When he's a substitute, get your goals, get your assists. Long may it continue. Keep him on the bench.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, what are you saying, Brenny?
I'm the same. I'm the same as Nick. Exactly what you said just now. I agree with. But what I will add with Martinelli, and without a doubt, I'm pleased for him as well. Last couple of games, but I did say in one of the chats today, I would have him for 20 plus games on the bench. And if that results in goals and assists, then, I'll be happy. It's the same with Trossard. And also, you get certain players over the years who've played for the Arsenal. And you see, Ian Wright, for example, Ian Wright would always give you 180% every game. And, what I meant by that is if he, say, for example, he knew he was going to be in the side next week under Wenger or Graham, or even, I don't know about Bruce Riop because they didn't really get on, but he knew that what I meant by that, he knew that he'd be in if he was told he'd be in the team next week, regardless what happens, he would still put in that effort to score goals and be involved. You know what I mean? Because he loved playing football. He was like that kid in the park. Now you get some players in certain positions. It could, mainly attacking players. Some of them, if there's no squad depth or there's injuries, and that player, it's exactly, and this is what happened to a bit. I haven't played well today, but you know what? I'm going to be in the team next week, and that was Martinelli and Trossard at times, and we got that a lot last season. We had a lot of inconsistent performances for them, even though I have said. I said this with Bobby on the Armory. I've also said that with Trossard, his Champions League performances in recent seasons have been really good.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And he tends to turn up when it's Champions League. Yeah. But now these two, you're going to see them fighting harder than ever now. So I didn't expect Trossard to start yesterday, but you're going to see these guys fighting hard for a place now because we have a squad and there's competition for places. So you're going to see a different attitude from both of them, and that is what we want.
Yeah. I think Havertz fits into that category as well. I mean,
he does.
I think he unlocks Gyökeres a lot as well, Havertz. People are snoozing on that. When we get him back, not only has he got a knack for coming up with a goal for himself, I think how them two mix could be fascinating. And when you're bringing on people like Havertz, Trossard, Martinelli, Madueke, if he's not starting, how they come on and affect the game, we're going to feast in the second half of the season. I honestly believe it.
Yeah, and I feel as well if he doesn't go in the January window, and if he's fully fit, I still think Gabriel Jesus has a part to play. I love him as a player,
You're not wrong there.
but it's just
Depending what player
the
we get.
injuries.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But now these competition of places, I think he. Do you know what? Don't be surprised if this season, if we do go far, that he ends up being an unsung hero, Gabriel Jesus.
Yep.
Yeah. Who knows? By then, when he comes back, we'll get someone else lost to injury, and it's like a roundabout, isn't it?
Yeah.
It needs to happen with us. It's kind of so frustrating that we've got this deep squad, and and it's just being obliterated every week. With injuries, not just on the pitch, but it seems to be training as well. Just it's just so frustrating. Thanks AFC always. Martin Lee should have ran back with the ball when he scored. In boxing, when you hit your opponent, they fall back on the ropes. You go for the kill and don't step back and let them get composure. Yeah, I've seen a lot of stick people saying he should have got the ball, ran back. I think Zubimendi tried to.
Zubimendi did, yeah.
He was getting shoved about in the goal by Ruben Diaz. But I can understand that there was
a few minutes to go. There was still time.
4 minutes left. Yeah,
people have too much to say about us, though, don't they? No matter what we do, people. I do get it. We could have got the ball back. Let's go for it. But people have too much to say about the Arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, you only have to look back at the 2-2 at their place. When they equalised in the last minute, and they were celebrating like they won the Champions League again, and people were throwing balls in the back of people's heads, and
do you remember all that?
And no one, and everyone said, "Oh, look at it!" Like people were laughing at that.
Yeah,
people were actually.
We had a short turnaround after a Champions League game, and we was down to 10 men defending the 2-1, and the heat that we got for trying to defend that 2-1. The heat we got. Yeah, no heat for City for parking the bus with nearly 6 centre backs. I mean, come on,
it's amazing, isn't it? Again, it's a narrative. Arsenal, so. Just talk rubbish and see what happens. Andrew Smith would be a better captain than Odegaard, the guy who sank the Titanic. Imagine Martinelli making runs. Obviously, support the left, knowing all the players come down the right when the main 11 starts. Yeah, I mean, he does. Yeah, he doesn't get any support down there. I mean, you only had to see Calafiore yesterday, and he was just he was just popping everywhere.
Just a solid game.
Yeah. He just reminds me a little bit of like a kid, an underage kid just running around trying to get a touch of the ball. Stay in position. Just
get back there.
Too much chaos. You
want a hat trick.
You're standing on people's toes, man. Just get into a little bit of space and stuff. I can get it, but it's just a bit chaotic, and which is surprising with the way Arteta is. You rather his left back have freedom than a number 10.
Right? How crazy? Because I was saying that to my boy. I was like, so many of our defensive midfielders or defenders have got the ball around the box. I don't want to see them with the ball. I want to see the Ezes. I want to see the Sakas. I want to see my attacking players with the ball. I mean,
yeah, it's mental, absolutely mental. Yeah, Pep parking the bus. Yeah, not seen that before, and you kind of got to take small crumb of comfort from that. That we made them do that. Just a shame we didn't go out, meaning business, with a side, set up. First manager to go and beat 5 games against Pep. Yeah, he'll dine out on that, won't he? He'll use it as a reason. Yeah, well, that's why. I got my tactics right. I didn't lose. I didn't lose to him. Again, he didn't lose. But he didn't win either.
That second half lineup and how we went for it wins us the title. The first half doesn't. Which one do you want to be? Exactly. That second half, if that does that to City, what does that do to every other team in the Premier League?
Yeah. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So before we finish, got Port Vale on Wednesday. You can kind of say you don't want to jinx it, but not as stressful, that one, and it should be a regulation.
The B team,
regulation win.
That's crazy.
We don't want no extra time. None of that. No one. I don't think there is.
Well, there is no extra time. Just straight to penalties.
We don't want none of that business. Especially if Kepa's going to be in goal. We don't want that going on.
I haven't got an issue with Kepa in goal as well. I mean, I think he's a very good deputy. Certainly better than Neto last season. Oh dear.
Absolutely.
What you thinking for that, gents? That's just going to be proper full rotation. You're imagining Yorkeres won't start that game.
No.
Probably go with Trossard maybe up front, maybe for that one.
No, I would start Saliba.
Okay,
To give him more minutes.
Yeah.
I'd give Gabby a rest as well at the back. I'd give Mosquera.
Oh, definitely give Gabby a rest.
Ben White comes in. I mean, this is ridiculous. When you think about what that team, the players that need minutes that come in, it's ridiculous. It's going to be a ridiculously strong team.
Max Stallman
with some youth.
Yeah.
Miles needs to go. I want to see Miles in midfield.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well. But I'd love to see him on midfield. I'd love to see Miles in midfield on Sunday against Newcastle with Declan Rice in the 6.
Yeah. You said
nice balance that.
They're not using him left back, so he's got to be a midfielder. We've got to start using the kid.
Yeah.
You kind of wonder what's happening there with Miles. He didn't seem like he had a really that great a pre-season. Just need to be a little bit off it a bit, getting caught a few times. Not shifting the ball too much, waiting to get contact, and then trying to buy a free kick if the touch isn't great. And I think
that's
after a while,
football, isn't it?
Yeah. I think for Miles, for me, he's not really been right. I feel since the second leg of the Champions League in that semi-final, he looked very nervous. He didn't have the best game. But it's going to be one of them things where that happened to Ashley Cole when we lost 6-1 at Man U way back, and then look what happened. That was the last worst game he had for the Arsenal. And the rest was history. So
he just
he'll come back strong. He does.
Yeah.
He'll be back.
Let's see. Hopefully a straightforward win.
I think so. I think
should be.
Yeah,
straightforward
win. Let's get into the next round. Hopefully avoid a Liverpool or a big team away, because they normally try and get us out at that competition as early as possible. Don't
I want us to win it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Enough to do so. 100%. So let's hope that we can navigate that nice and comfortably on Wednesday, and then obviously look ahead to the game on Sunday against Newcastle. A nice warm welcome up there, as usual.
I'm feeling good about that game.
Dear.
I know that sounds crazy, but
we've just got to play football there, Nick. We've got. He's falling into this trap of let's go there and be physical. And having said that, I wouldn't be surprised if Mourinho starts again in that game, because he just wants him to be a presence in the air.
Mike, why did you have to say that, Mike? You're on a timeout. Someone know.
I'm going to remove myself from the stream for saying that. But,
if he goes Saka on the left, Ethan Waneri in on the right, and Eze in the 10, for example, with Gyökeres, and you got Zubimendi and Rice, or Miles Lewis-Skelly and Rice, I'll be happy.
Yeah,
I'll be happy.
I just think
that's frightening. That's frightening. That is frightening.
It is.
Defenses.
I'd like to see him be a little bit more adventurous with this lineup. You can afford. You don't need to play that 2 defensive midfielders or 3 defensive midfielders.
Exactly.
One player can anchor. Let Miles come on as the left 8, because I think he will cook as the left 8. And let's just go for it. Let's just have a bit of fun.
Newcastle are not the Newcastle of last season right now.
No, they're not.
No,
in my opinion,
they're not. No. But again,
good shout there by Stephen Norgard as well.
Yeah, Norgard's
available.
He'll play.
He'll definitely play. He'll definitely play.
He should play in the 6, shouldn't he? You don't need another one. You just need him there instead of Zubimendi, and then you go with Eze, and who else would go? Hopefully not Rice. I think he needs a rest. He's just been running around.
Incapi's injured now, isn't he?
I think so. He had a knock. So let's see if he can
But I
you
would go
can-
for a middle three, just thinking of rotation. Miles, Norgard, Ethan.
Yeah.
Because Ethan's a midfielder as well. That's good
That
enough.
would work.
Yeah.
That would work.
That will go, and then it'll be like moving forward. Yeah.
Max Dowman would probably start on the right.
Yeah, that's who. Why not?
Yeah. He's got options. We should be far too strong. You know, if you go there with the right attitude, which I'm sure they will, because obviously some will see this as an opportunity to get some minutes and get back in the side. I think that's probably why.
Yeah.
That's why some people have said Trossard started, because it kind of showed that okay, you've done some. You know, you've got 2 assists. You scored. You can, if you can earn yourself a way back into the team if you deliver numbers. You know, so. If that's a pathway back into the team, if you do what you're asked to do, and you get your head down and you carry on, then there's a chance. So again, that will hopefully get the boys, you know, when we play, you know, on Wednesday, you know, going there with the right attitude and putting it to Port Vale, no messing about, and you know, get them in a good shape for the weekends, because we need to win that. We can't be getting another draw there. We need to get 3 points. But gents, thanks so much for your time. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone that's been in the chat.
No, thank you.
It's been
having us on.
A great chat. Thanks, Brenny, for your debut. You know,
you're welcome, man.
We'll do some ratings later, and you know, player ratings, and see how it'd be a 10. Thanks so much. Again, obviously, thanks for everyone. For your comments, has been really, really appreciative, and support and everything and stuff. It really means a lot. Lots to talk about as usual with Arsenal. It always is, whether it's win, lose or draw. And let's hope we can get back on it Wednesday night against Port Vale, and that tricky one against Newcastle. Let's just go down there and try and play a bit of football rather than try and turn it into a little bit of a physical battle, because then we're playing into their hands again. We're worrying about what the opposition rather than what we
impose ourselves.
Thank you. Thanks for your time. Please like, share and subscribe with your fellow Gooners, and obviously happy to have others on the show to talk about this wonderful club, and as we move forward, trying to get out a little bit more shows as I can. But thanks, Bren. Bren, where can they find you, man?
Welcome.
If they want to follow you.
Yeah, always you can follow me on X, follow me on Instagram threads, and you could also follow me, like, share, subscribe to my channel. It's just Brenny K74, still on the road to 100. And I've had some content on there already. Nick's already been a part of it. Michael will also be a part of what I've got planned, what I've got coming up, I should say. 100%. So and it's going to be lots of history talk as well throughout the season. So tune in.
Yeah, 100%. Lovely stuff. And Nick, yourself, where can people find you, man?
Mainly on supporting my fellow Gooners channels, really, like Brenny, yourself. I have got my own thing coming eventually. It's not going to be streaming as such. It's just going to be episodes sort of thing. I will announce that at a later time. And Brenny, don't forget, you need to do the youth team 11. People that have come from my youth,
not forgetting that.
Made the 11. That'll be a good one. So here, there, and everywhere.
Great stuff. Thanks, Nick. Really appreciate that. Just the last one from Chris. He's not happy. Worst Ballon d'Or in years. Donnarumma, Coutinho, Neves, Ruiz, Pedri, Yamal. More worthy winners. What a joke. Let's give it to someone who's had the hot and cold games. Yeah. You think when we played them in the Champions League, when we beat them in the league phase, he didn't even play that game, did he? Dembele. He fell out with Enrique, and he disciplined him, didn't he? And then he obviously took him out. So you're kind of right. You know, he kind of had half a season, and he ends up winning it. Interesting. Yeah. But I think since the big two have kind of departed, or not departed, but kind of stepped away from the limelight in European football, it's kind of funny now, isn't it? People kind of don't really take that competition or the award that seriously anymore. But anyway, that's another show. But anyway, thanks, gents. Have a lovely rest of the
all the best
evening and week. And all that's left to say is obviously, come on, you Reds.